Hello, chat. Welcome to another game night. Yes, this is the umpteenth week in a row where I've claimed I was going to stream other than this, and I haven't. But you know what? I always look forward to this night. We're back with more Star Trek. Now, we get to find out this week what is going to become of our beloved Tinkers at the clutches of the dreaded Section 31. And everyone else, and with the many dastardly plots about. Oh, we got gifts in the chat. Oh goodness. I'm also hoping that Carl Casey will save us from more copyright claims. But the Mad Grooves are so good. Anyway, we are approaching on time for once, so without further ado, I think I'm gonna get into it and get us going. I know you love the music, chat, so hold on. Also, in case anyone else who comes in, don't forget !STA in chat for all that information about our YouTube channel and everything else about the game itself. And now I will roll us on over.
Turns out it was the mirror universe all along.
Can't hear Brian, don't know if he's talking to us. I can see him, but I cannot hear him.
And we are live, apparently.
Are we? I'm glad I sung that then.
It's very important that you sang that.
Yay.
Hey man, if you hit 200 followers, I'll write a musical for Steven Tinkers. How about that?
I have a perfectly good emote for the chat.
I'll get my brother to compose all the songs. Fuck yeah, man.
That's promising too much, I think.
I will executive produce that musical. I will also provide a subject matter expert for the musical portion of it.
That I will be announcing my retirement if that happens.
I'll see if I can hire Bob Fosse for it.
200 follows, guys. Everything changes to 200 followers. Hi, everybody. Hi. So are we good to go?
We are good to go. We are live.
All right.
Human did write it.
So I remember kind of what was going on last time. So we had just if I'm recalling correctly, I just want to make sure because I know we left off at kind of a weird spot. Lenra had just talked to the aunt and was going to potentially figure out what's going on with Section 13 and the possible traitor for the Freebirds. She had also talked to Enzo about that, correct? That was like the last thing you guys had done, right?
Yeah, it was right at the end.
Okay. All right. Narc was still freaking out, and then there was all the pass out thing and everything, right?
Mm-hmm. Am I missing? No, that was earlier.
That was earlier.
We got to the trying to contact Narc. using the captain's console to send the
That's
unlisten
right.
to command,
That's right.
and then
Okay. All right. I remember now.
all
I
right,
remember now. Okay. All right. So that was all squared away, though, right? We were
yeah,
all done.
that was pretty
in
much
our
where we
freak-out.
left off.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think the very last thing that with Narc and the captain was Narc basically explained to the captain and Backwater the situation that he had actually went through with the academy
Oh.
and the Shint.
Just
Oh,
very,
okay.
very indirectly, as
Yes.
indirectly as possible, because no.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. All right. So we're gonna do a little bit of a fast forward to the next day, unless anybody has anything planned for that night.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Just before we leave, I'm gonna
Okay.
give the captain an encrypted isolinear chip,
Okay.
and all it has on it, it's going to be very easy to decrypt with his standard, whatever his standard command password is.
Okay.
And it's just a couple of episodes of some random holo novel that don't seem to be in sequence from some completely obscure author that apparently is so ill-liked and unheard of that he barely has any reviews whatsoever in Subspace Chatter.
And it's the middle of the night, and the captain is probably not going to get a chance to actually look through the triple encrypted
Thank you.
references. Thanks.
As long as you've got them and I don't.
So basically, Narc hid his stuff in some like Amazon Kindle budget titles.
He hit it in the Expanse final season.
No, people watched that.
Yeah, that's actually good. I mean, come on.
Okay, so anything else anybody wants to do this night before going to sleep and waking tomorrow?
No, good.
Okay. All right. So everybody gets a night's sleep, an uneasy night's sleep, but that's all you get nowadays. So you wake up the next morning. I do want to ask Tobin, who are you taking to the briefing with Admiral Arn Anderson about everything going on in Beta Quadrant?
I mean, it should be the senior staff.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Hey man, I don't know. You're the captain. You decide who you take.
That they didn't really cover a whole lot on the briefing for a captain. The onboarding was kind of bored. You're on.
Bored you're on. Okay, so all the senior staff. Does everybody meet him, or does anybody skip the meeting? Skip the
I go.
briefing.
Yeah, I'll definitely go.
Okay, I'm assuming Leonard's gonna go, right?
Yep.
All right, you guys head over to Anderson. He meets you in his office.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There was a question. This is out of
Sure.
character. However, we do this.
Sure.
This was actually a standing question I had from the previous game.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not 100% familiar with this era, but I don't actually know what the awareness of what area or section 31 is to the general Starfleet type population at this point, or because I had a major response to it, but then I realized sort of in between game, like have I heard of them? I just don't know what the general going situation is. So sorry to break things up. But
No. I assume that you would know of them. It's kind of like, military police or the CIA, like probably not as broadcast as the CIA, but since you're in Starfleet, you would be very aware of what Section 31 is. And I'm sure there are tons of rumors floating around with other people about what they are. You know what I mean?
Yep. Perfect. Thanks. Sorry.
Okay. So you guys head over to see Admiral Arn Anderson. He actually meets you with just his one assistant that you saw the other day. And you guys come in. He's like, have a seat. When you guys have a seat, he just goes right into it. He's like, I'm not going to mince words. I'm going to tell you guys exactly how it is here in the Beta Quadrant. First of all, you guys have had a real rough time of things just getting here. And I appreciate everything extra that you kind of did on the way here. So take a few days, shore leave here at the station. Acclimate yourself, get used to things, get to know people, settle in. Especially since I believe Section 31, sorry. I always want to say 13. I don't know why. Section 31 wants to look at one of your boys, and I know you don't want to replace him, at least not yet. So take the time. But I want to go over everything that's going on in the Beta Quadrant to date, so you guys are all informed. And this includes some information that is now declassified to all of you because you will be working in the Beta Quadrant. So instead of having him tell the story in the voice, he basically goes over this. They have never met the Dougs before. You guys were the first to meet the Dougs, so they're going over everything, all the reports that you had there. But the Shint they have encountered before, and actually the Romulans have encountered them before this as well. It's one of the big reasons that they went after the Accord so tough is they think that the Shint attacks have gotten slightly more regular over the years, so they feel like it is an expanding empire of hostility. They know very little about the Shint. The Shint are in these ships that are crescent shapes. From what they can tell, they don't have any sort of phasers or photons. They have some sort of ablative shielding, and they literally use their ships as swords. They ram other ships and cut through them. That's what they do. That's how they go through space and fight things. So it's a technology and a way of fighting that they've never seen before, especially since it's kind of insane that they can pierce the shield so easily.
Well, since the Klingon Federation wars during the Battle of Binary Stars, but sure.
Okay.
Well, that's a one-off versus a standard tactic. Let's be
fair. This is it. They don't seem to even have the capability for ranged fire whatsoever. There have been almost no recorded encounters with the Shint themselves. They have been hailed repeatedly with absolutely no ends, and it is actually theorized that they might not have the capability to receive hails through their ships. The ships are all about shields and ramming. That's what they do. But whatever they are very aggressive, hyper aggressive, and very few have lived to tell the tale. Narc being one of them. He makes sure to say, because he has gotten wind of your episode yesterday, he makes sure to point out that this information has been declassified and there is no reason for you not to know it. Once he goes through that with so no more panic attacks, hopefully. He goes out of his way to try and make it so that Narc doesn't have another panic attack, basically. But he goes over that. That was one of the few encounters where people survived, where they left anybody alive. And of course, there was your encounter, which is really the only recorded encounter with them, first contact style, face to face. They have recorded the bio signal that they saw in your records. They're not quite sure what it does, but they theorize that it's how they communicate with each other, and probably why they don't have the capability in their ship for hails, because they're able to communicate with each other over a great distance biologically. They're the big threat right now. It looms. They haven't found out any information for it, so they're hoping that this station and the combined ingenuity of all three empires will now be able to explore a little bit, find out more information about them, and figure out what to do about them, whether war is coming or if they can find some peaceful manner to get out of this. They have, however, heard of some stories of the Fae that they saw from your Doug. They have never encountered the Fae. It may be a dead race, they're not sure, but they have found traces of them in other small sections, because some exploring has been done here by the Romulans before this, but this station didn't pop up in the 2 weeks since the Accord went through. They were planning on the Accords going through, so they've been working on this station kind of in conjunction with the Romulan Empire in secret, which leads us to more interesting information. Anaphis Ferran actually knew about this station and actually had worked here to help build it with other people before he had ever been given a ship, between the time of the Cascade incident and this. let me see. What else would he give you? Other than that, he just says the Klingon side is behind because they were kind of out of the loop on this. So while we always plan to put them in on it, they didn't really have any previous like access to this. So that's why their section of the place is still kind of under construction. And then once he finishes, he also tells you about the Freebirds. The Freebirds are pirates. They're human pirates who have somehow found a way to hide in the Beta Quadrant. They're called the Freebirds because they use old, decommissioned warbirds that they scavenge or steal from the Romulan Empire. So, and while they don't, there is a lot of them, but they don't seem to have any sort of central organization. It's more like old school piracy.
Immediately, we have our own pirate.
Not that old school. So he finishes his briefing. It takes him about a half an hour to go through all of it. He gives you guys all the information on your little hollow things. And he finishes. He goes, all right, so that's where we stand. Your mission with the Danielson will be what it's always been, to support and rescue when it's necessary. Of course, you're going to be in much more dangerous situations than you would have been in the Alpha Quadrant. I mean, at least I can only theorize that you guys were in a pretty dangerous situation that wasn't expected. But this is a much more, this is going to be a hotbed of discovery. It's also going to be a hotbed of damage, destruction, rescue missions, and so on and so forth. So that's what the Danielson will be primarily used for. Its main task: tows, fix everything you did with the what do I call it? Phazon ship that you rescued.
Sure.
Yeah. I think it was the Fabane. Everything you did with the Fabane is exactly what you're going to be doing in the Beta Quadrant from here on out. So, do you have any questions for me? I've allotted this time. I know this is a lot to take in, so feel free. Like I said, I'm an open book.
So, if these Shint have been something that the Romulans have been dealing with for some time, do they have any sort of information on sort of a general region of space that these creatures have been appearing in? Is it just sort of all over the Beta Quadrant? Is it sort of focused in a certain area? Like, I don't necessarily need to know their home world, but if one region of space is more likely to find them than others.
We theorize that the Shint, wherever they come from, wherever their group is located, is far side of the Beta Quadrant. They've slowly been growing over there, and what we've encountered, well, what the Romulans and now us have encountered, are more like isolated exploration and scout ships looking to move forward closer to us, more closer to our quadrant. It has become increasing, which we believe, and again, this is all theories from just timing of attacks, sightings, that sort of thing. But what we believe is that they are getting ready to continue to expand our way, which is why we're seeing them more and more. They're feeling us out, so to speak. Again, just theories. We have no concrete evidence because we can't talk to the things.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely intelligent.
Well, you had a close encounter with them. I read the report, but I can only gather what you wrote. And from what I can understand, they were, it was a pretty adept killing machine.
Well, I mean, beyond just being highly adapted for killing, when I hit the cargo bay door lock to vent it into space, it looked at me directly, even though I was on the other side of the wall. Clearly understood what I was about to do, and then ripped its own throat out. That's not even if it's a cornered animal, right? Animals have to know that they're cornered to react violently. This thing understood what was happening and chose to end itself before that.
Look, I've been around the block. I've seen a few fights. It sounds like this thing's fanatical almost.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I stayed on the other side of the pressurized cargo door through the encounter because, yeah, that seemed like the sensible choice. But I don't know, man. It was scary. Not gonna lie, I think it was scary.
Well, we're all a little rattled by those things. I mean, it's not. I mean, we've met some threats before, the Borg, the Dominion, but these things, heck, even the Borg, you could at least talk to them for a second. These things, we can't even get a word in.
Yeah.
We don't even really know. It could be a religious thing. We could be trespassing on holy lands. We don't know. They're not giving us any sort of warning. And they're not leaving enough people alive for us to gather any intel to actually get in touch with them whatsoever. So we're hoping that this expansion, this Frontier 1, will be able to gather more intel because we can't be the only things that have run into them.
What other vessel support do we have so far on the station?
Well, we have quite a few ships, we have quite a few science ships. That's what we need right now for exploration and whatnot. But we have a couple of warships if we need it. We also have the Klingons and the Romulans at our disposal. We're trying to work as coordinated as humanly possible post accord. Any missions that we're sending out, we're giving them information on. They're giving us information. That's how I want it. We're gonna respect the accord down to the letter. We're gonna act as one armada. So if the Romulans are there, they're looking for your distress signals too. They're looking for our distress signals too. We're looking for theirs. Yeah, I'm not saying you guys aren't going to be towing some Romulans and some Klingons. They're our friends now. That's the way we're going to treat it.
Fair enough. Of course.
Any other questions, gentlemen? Sorry. Any other questions, officers?
None.
Well, as you said, if there were...
What have the Freebirds mostly been hitting in this area? I mean, Federation-wise, obviously, this is pretty much the only real outpost we have in this area.
He gets really upset when you mention the Freebirds. Like he's visibly disgusted by them. He goes, "This kind of piracy should have gone out and pre-war humanity. This is ridiculous stuff that's going on out here." And as far as what they're hitting, they hit anything they can. And personally, I think it's less piracy and more they hate the Accord. They've got a beef with the Romulans all the way around. They hit the Romulans at all times, and the Romulans have been pushing into this sector for a while now, just looking for stuff and gathering resources. So they've been hitting Romulans. They also push into the Alpha Quadrant on the Romulan side and hit Romulan bases and whatnot. They use the Beta Quadrant to hide.
Well, I mean, if they're in older birds of prey, even if you have an updated cloaking device, we should probably start having some sort of standard sensor upgrades on ships going through these sectors, because you can upgrade a cloaking device, but you can't change the main hull shape.
I'm completely with you on that. We're working on it. They tend to hit the weakest common denominators. We haven't actually had a whole lot of problems with them personally because most of our ships can take any of their ships. They're using old, out-of-date ships. They tend to go after outposts, civilian cargo ships, stuff easy prey is what they go after.
Interesting.
But they hide in the Beta Quadrant, so now we're kind of in their turf. and we're going to start running into them more. They also, like I said, they hate the Accord. They hate the Romulans. They hate the Accord. So anything they can do to sabotage it is what they're going to do.
Thanks very much.
Of course. And again, gentlemen, you're under my command, and I expect you to respect it as so. But that being said, I respect the hell out of what all of you did. So if you guys need anything, you come to me.
There's one thing that I could ask for, please.
Sure. What you need?
Could I possibly get, just as a small favor, all of the documents that are now declassified in relation to Captain Anaphis Ferran and the construction of this station and the Sint, and also all of the diplomatic documentation that we have concerning the treaties that are in place because of the Accords and the classified and now non-redacted information concerning the Accords as well?
They're all accessible on your Hall of thing. I've already upgraded your passwords, your passcodes. You can see all of it. Anything I have, you can see on such matters.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Anything else? All right. Well, if that'll be it, I'm going to dismiss you all. Like I said, take a few days, rest, and I'll get back to you on your first assignment.
All right. Thank you, Admiral. Well,
He dismisses you guys. Where do you guys go?
Do we know what time it is? What time is it relative to when Tinkers has to meet the Section 31?
Tinkers should be going there right now. Honestly, it's about noonish.
Yeah, I thought he had already left.
Yeah, he would have gone early, but if I recall correctly, I might be mistaken. You guys sent Kyle with him, Kyle O'Reilly.
No, we didn't specifically
I
assign some.
No. Okay. All right. I thought somebody had assigned Kyle to take care of Tinkers.
Nope. I don't think we assigned anybody to take care of Tinkers.
We trusted Tinkers to handle things all by himself.
That's great. That's a good plan. Good plan. He's a capable officer.
What could go wrong?
In a federation? He definitely knows what's going on at all times.
Also, we didn't think that the secret police were going to, if the secret police were going to allow a detail to accompany the person they were interrogating, we would have sent a lot more than.
I could have sworn somebody said, but that's fine. That's fine. I remember things incorrectly all the time. All right, so
we can always send an ablative Kyle O'Reilly. That's fine.
An ablative.
Ablative guy. Okay, you guys. So what are you guys doing? You guys get out of the debriefing room. All four of you are standing there in the space station, which are starting to weather people.
I'm going back to my quarters to relax.
Okay.
I've had way too much thrown at me at this point, so I am just
totally fine.
I am going to go find Mr. O'Reilly.
Okay.
And go have a chat with him.
What else is there? What else is everybody else doing?
And before Dark runs off to look through the massive trove of things that are now to be compiled. Dark, I know it hasn't been very long. Do you have a chance to work out anything we discussed yesterday?
Concerning the facilities situation?
Yes.
Yes, Captain, I did. It was actually a very long time. We had all night, and I wasn't in the holodeck, so everything wasn't going at 1.5 speed. It was actually going at 2.5 speed.
Oh, excellent. Well, we can talk about this.
You know, there's actually a piece of software that I would highly recommend. It comes very unrecommended, but I would recommend it. And I think that might be a perfect opportunity for us to take advantage of when you're not working things
Yeah,
with each other.
that would be now. Let's go have a moment. Let's go take care of that.
Okay, that sounds fantastic.
All right.
We might need to stop at a Replimat and pick up a Raktakino so that you can keep up with the interface speed of the. It sort of is not calibrated well, and so the time sync is a little off. As long as you have a lot of caffeine, it's really fine.
Just out of curiosity, out of character, would Dark be ordering the captain a Rectitudo of his preferred caffeine dosage, which would probably be above standards?
I think he would just leave it up to you. I think it's just a general suggestion that it's like it's going to basically give you motion sickness unless you already have the jitters. Basically, that's the recommendation.
Oh, oh yeah,
So,
but it's definitely gonna it's gonna hit Tobin like a ton of bricks.
That's just what our captain needed, a caffeine addiction.
Oh.
We've got synthahol, but not synthacaffeine, I guess.
No, there's no such. We have perfectly accepted caffeine as a reasonable
reasonable
performance enhancing substance.
Yes.
We'll call them the Janeway Accords of whatever star date it would have been.
All right, so we're gonna start with Lenra then. Lenra, yep. You go.
Okay.
Don't be too irritated. All right, you head to your room, okay. But you find the Section 31 girl waiting for you.
Look, I don't care. You want to fuck, kill, or marry my aunt? Leave me alone. I open my quarters, go in, and block her out.
Really?
Okay. She's not in the mood to play any of this spy game bullshit. She's not doing it. She doesn't want to deal with Section, make Federation great again. She's here to run a tugboat.
Okay, Mark, you go to talk to Kyle.
All right.
So you find him. You just find him in the cafe, just having a lunch. It's lunchtime. He's just eating lunch. He's not on duty.
Is he lieutenant now, or is he still ensign? I just can't remember.
Well, you're lieutenant junior grade. He was ensign, so now he's lieutenant.
Okay. Yeah. Lieutenant, mind if I join you?
Hey, Captain, of course. Have a seat.
Hey, thanks, man. Looks like we've got a couple of days of R&R coming up.
Really? Yeah. Giving us some shore leave. Wow.
Well, okay. I mean, something about multiple life and death situations in the course of 2 days. I don't know.
Yeah, aside from me to say anything, but I don't mind a little rest. Even with what happened with the captain, we were, I didn't really feel like that last station was a rest. I don't know if you did, but
not as much. No. Yeah. No. I think everybody's going to benefit from a couple of days of not dying.
Dealing with small space kobolds? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was interesting. Definitely
interesting.
Definitely went for the logs. Anyway, but more specifically, man, how are you doing
now? I'm doing all right. Captain. I felt like I was helpful and I get my feet. I'm good. Good. I'm sorry about everything. I'm glad you.
Don't be.
I'm glad you came talk to me, and I'm glad you talked me into coming along.
I am too, man. And don't be sorry. I don't want. I'm no counselor, but if you're walking around not being honest with yourself, then it's just not going to go well. You know what I
mean? Yeah. I was definitely in my own head. I don't know. It's still weird being on the ship with Lenra because I feel like I put her in danger so many times, but it's fine.
That's all right. She's a big girl. She can handle it.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to make sure you're doing all right. With Anar coming up, I'm not going to have any surprise drills going on or anything like that. So just take your time, relax.
All right. Well, thanks, Oh, sorry, Lieutenant Junior Grade. Just think of you as a captain lately. But thanks. I appreciate it.
Sure thing. I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee and just sort of wander the halls, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, with nothing actually like shooting at the ship apart, it's like, oh, this is a nice hallway. I remember this hallway.
Right. All right, we'll switch over to Tobin and Narc. What are you guys doing?
Okay, so we get to the holodeck. I go through the normal routine of setting the one holodeck so that it seems like we're in there, and actually going into a different holosuite entirely. So we're actually occupying both of them. It's less to do with anything on a security side, and it's basically just a compulsion he has at this point. Like,
okay,
he's just that guy that takes up the other arcade machine with his coke. It just does.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Do you do any research on this declassified information?
So when we get into the holodeck,
Okay.
I'm going to replace one of the isolinear chips with one of my own personal ones, so that it's one of my programs that's actually running.
Okay.
And I mean, one of the programs that, like, similar to the one that I handed to the captain. It's just like another copy of it. So I put that on, and it starts up, and the I guess it's a scene. It's a holodeck. So the scene that materializes is just the Danielson.
Okay. All right.
We're just on the Danielson in just like a random corridor. If you're really familiar with the ship, you know exactly where it is. It's a pretty good simulation.
Okay. All right. And it's you and Tobin together?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right. All right. So you guys are on the Danielson in the hollow ship. The hollow,
Yep. Okay. So right away you'll start to notice that, like, you just sort of feel like a little disoriented. And after a minute or two, just from normal things, you're familiar with things like the lights flashing out of slightly out of phase or something, where you can just sort of like see that the fluorescent bulbs are flickering or whatever. You sort of have that like sensation, and you kind of realize that everything around you is actually happening a little bit faster than it's supposed to be. So like even when you move and stuff, it's like you're just moving at like basically like accelerated frame rate. So then at this point, I'm going to start basically directing you to go up the corridor. We go around, it's regular Danielson, but when we get to the bridge, it's completely different. It looks like a like mid 23rd century Miranda bridge, and it has all of the normal kind of like mid-century fixings for that type of thing. There's a crew complement on the ship that is the similar number to a previous generation of ships. So you have like your yeoman, your captain, all of your like support staff that you normally don't have. And they're still using a lot of analog features and things like that. But again, everything's happening at like a slightly accelerated frame rate, which Narc basically explained is like how he saves time so that he has time to do these, is he just plays them in slight fast forward. But now you're going to actually see what he does, and he's actually going to basically go to his duty station like he's one of the crew here, and start flipping through the information here, but with the computer's augmented situation so that he can read things a little bit faster.
Tobin is almost vibrating out of phase from the wrecked Gino, but trying to follow around.
Oh, I forgot, Captain. There's something that kind of helps with things at this speed of things. Can I see your comm badge, please? I promise I won't break it. It's kind of a promise. I might break it. I won't break it on purpose.
It's fine, Narc. It's I've already broken a few.
Excellent. So I'm going to basically upload the same augmented algorithm to the universal translator, so that he also has, like Lenra, the I forget what you call it, like the behavioral translation matrix or whatever. so that he's got that too. But I'm gonna make it so that it's for him it probably needs to be like basically audible since he doesn't have any like mild sub-auditory kind of frequencies that he can hear. So with that activated, you can now not have to like necessarily listen to what everybody is saying. You can kind of just get the gist from your universal translator as well, from people's like body language and stuff like that. But I'm going to basically look at some of the information and then suggest to the captain that we go to my therapy session together and meet my therapist.
Oh boy.
Short of a boy, it's more of a computer construct. I haven't really figured out the pronouns. I just call them therapist.
Sure. Does this have to do with what we talked about?
Yes. This is exactly the situation that is involving the facilities that I requested through the medical staff on the other ship from the other doctor.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Let's go.
Excellent. Okay. So I go up to the captain on the bridge and I request to be relieved of duty so that I can see the doctor for my regular therapy session. And so I get dismissed to go do my therapy session. We go to like a standard 2600 or 2260s med bay. So it's like nurses station, lots of analog stuff. And in there's something that looks like they don't really have phone booths for analog. Has anybody ever seen like a quiet room, like in an office building, where you basically just have like it's kind of like a phone booth? It's like a plexiglass room with like sound retarding foam on the inside, and it's got like a Faraday cage and stuff like that. Basically, just looks like a phone booth. So we basically go into that, and I take out another isolinear chip and put that in, and it starts another holodeck program inside of there.
You keep stacking these. I'm gonna have to end up rolling to know where I am.
He's receptioning you right now. Yeah. You're 3 dreams in.
And so when this program boots up, at this point, it is the regular Danielson bridge, and we're in the ready room that we normally meet in, like the broom closet.
It is kind of a broom closet.
So if you happen to walk in during the simulation, just ignore him. I kind of come here sometimes to practice real life in case I need to do real life for real. So I come in here to practice. It's still at an accelerated speed. So again, if you get the jitters, it's really okay. It'll go away, or it won't.
Somebody's gonna need therapy when this is over.
Oh boy.
And so now I wanted to go over the assignment that you gave me about my facility.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead, Nar.
Okay. So I've been in the beta quadrant before, and previously I was the only survivor of the incident where the entire rest of the crew perished. It wasn't my fault. And that should go on the record. None of this should go on the record, but it wasn't my fault. So after that, I was it was dark for a long time because I was being looked after by the very helpful Romulans that recovered me and put into a very safe place for some time. But then when I got out, I was assigned to Danielson and finished the academy without much more of a education in how lots of Starfleet things work. So I came up with this program so that I could go through my extension courses fast enough to be ready to be on the Danielson by the time I got there. So I've gone through some of my academy, but not all of it. The important thing comes later. So later would be now.
Yes.
Now that we're here again, it's come to my my thoughts that perhaps the entities that can kill everyone, and they don't really communicate, but it seems like they can like sort of like tell what people are like thinking or doing without talking. and sort of like they just know. And we saw that from what Enzo reported. It's like they know what's going on. And the only time I've ever seen that is like the Vulcans when they can like read your mind, but that requires physical contact. But then we also started recording these energy waves, and these energy waves, they were they were they were sort of like some kind of an emanation. So maybe they're using the like mind powers. So I wrote this story once, and there was these aliens, and they could read your brain from very far away, and then they would tell other people what was in your brain from very close away, and it was very annoying because if you wanted to do something, then they would tell you, they would tell the other person before you could do it. But what if they know things, and what if for some reason they know that I was there, and they know that I was the only one left, and maybe I started running an algorithm in the computer system that calculated the probability of running into them multiple times based on their encounters, and I've run into them basically 3 times, and then there's two levels of separation that I also have between the station and the Danielson, and then Captain Ferran, we were kind of close, not really close, not any closer than they wanted us to be, but then at that point he was also out here, and he also interacted with maybe the Shint. So here's the plan, Captain. Uh, we use deception, since that's what you do in the Beta Quadrant, because that's what the Romulans taught us. I mean, not us. They talked about it a lot. So first thing we need to do is we need to find a way to basically hide and still be there. So we need to hide like in plain sight. We need to make ourselves like not seem like we're wherever we are. And then we need to track down the Doug. I really like them, but that's not why. I think that we should find them because they seem to have the ability to imbue people with communication abilities that they didn't previously have. And we can't communicate with a Shint. And I don't want to communicate with a Shint. But if they've already been in my head, then they can already communicate with me. And if they know I'm back, then maybe that's why they're coming after us. And if they're coming after us, we should be able to hide. But also, we might want to be able to communicate with them. So if we can figure out what happened to Tinkers based on the biological data that, I mean, it's not really against protocol. Like I just happen to run the sensors, and I happen to run the science officer station, and I do all the ship diagnostics, and I also run the life support. And so I kind of have biological scans of pretty much all of the crew on an ongoing basis. They're just stored on the computer mainframe. I don't keep them personally. I mean, not for personal use. I use them, but I don't. But so we have that. So maybe we could determine what happened to Tinkers when he came back from the ship, because we have his biological from before. And if we track down the Doug, we could potentially find out how they imbued him with the ability to communicate with them, because he had it almost immediately as soon as we got there. And I don't know where it came from. I was going to check their poop, but I ran out of time. I should bring their poop into the holodeck.
All right, pause. Tobin, I can't stop him. He's in a holodeck of a holodeck. I can't interrupt. You're gonna have to say something to him, man. We can't spend another 2 hours of Narc. I love it. It's great character, but it will be literally just Narc for an hour. I know how Nick Jitsu plays his characters. We gonna be here, all right? I can't. Just saying.
I think he was finishing his thought, actually.
Was he?
Also,
he was finishing his thought for half an hour.
Also, I'm pretty sure that Tobin is going to understand this, and then when his caffeine crashes, he's gonna pass out and be very confused when he wakes up.
So
yeah, I can finish this in like less than 2 minutes.
But at that stop point,
I need another 180 seconds, Zach. I need 180. All right.
Can't step in. I don't know why, but I think I understand. And I think I understand that I didn't explain enough what I wanted you to do.
Oh. Well, then I guess we probably don't need to commandeer a Romulan warship, because they have the pieces of the ability to make us. There's, according to the information that the yeoman is telling me over my giant earbud thing. Apparently, there's some kind of treaty that the Romulans had with the Federation well, specifically Starfleet, like that goes back some years already, and they were only allowed to have a couple of cloaking devices, but they couldn't use them in the Alpha Quadrant, and that's the only way that it was written. And so we're not in the Alpha Quadrant. So if we did have a cloaking device and we did use it, and we're not in the Alpha Quadrant, I mean, it wouldn't be against that law. And if we got it from people who already stole it, then they might not be.
But can
then they
you
would want to
make
kill us
sure
anyways.
that help monitor Tinkers while that keep Section 31 from dissecting him? Now.
Okay. Computer, end program. Computer, end program. Computer, end program.
This is like when you like in the 90s when you hide things in like way too many folders.
Yes, yes. But you know that there was an actual limit to how many times you could do that on the original Apple IIes and stuff. Like you couldn't go past a certain limit. And like Power Max and stuff.
Yeah, and that's
Windows
where it
still has
always
a
was.
character limit on file length.
It was always like 50 over that where you started branching. Anyway, so we're another 30 minutes of end program continues.
He just does it like 5 times, and then once or twice after they're out of the holodeck, and he just sort of like looks around kind of oddly, and then just says it again, and then it's fine, and then yeah.
All right, Enzo, you are just walking around, drinking your coffee, having a good time. When you see your favorite second in command, T-Rex, heading towards you.
Oh, hey, T-Rex.
Lieutenant.
Just giving you a heads up. We were getting assigned a couple days of R&R before we get shipped out again to go rescue the needy or whatever the hell we're going to be doing.
That's fine. Fine.
No drills these couple of days. Just take some time. Do whatever you do.
Okay, she looks at you confused when you say take some time and do what you do, but no drills. Like it's very clear that drills is what she does. So like
right.
She's very confused.
Sorry. I'm not assigning you any additional drills. How's that?
Well, that's fine and all, but I feel that we should have a conversation.
You got some time?
Yes. Let's get a drink.
I look at my coffee, finish it. Let's get a drink.
All right. She's not talking about coffee. So,
yeah, I know. That's why I finished it first.
You guys head to an establishment that will replicate you alcohol via a bartender. Once you get there, it's very nice. It's clean. Federation kind of ran. But she walks in, sits kind of at the bar area, orders herself a drink, orders you a drink. And then she goes, all right, so with some of these declassified files, oh no, wait, no, that's not what she's got. She goes, so I was researching some things that didn't sit right with me.
Sure.
Then she pulls out her holopad, puts it in front of you. Basically, what it takes you only a couple lines to figure out what it is. It talks about Cynthia Deveros, the engineer. Basically, it talks about how she was thought of like suspicion of terrorism with Anafis Ferran, and then that she is now wanted. She without authorization somehow left the Tolmec Memorial Station, and no one knows where she is.
Interesting. Well, I'm glad she escaped for now.
She's like, yes.
I didn't buy that whole thing.
Neither did I. However, I don't understand why she ran. I know Cyric's in power, but I'd rather face my enemies.
Well, for some, facing the enemy is a glorious opportunity, and for others, it's the nail in the coffin.
You guys suddenly hear from behind you, "Yar! What you be talking about here?" And then Eddie Teach just kind of sits down without any invite whatsoever.
Hello, Edward.
Hello, Security Chief Enzo. Is that what I call you? I'm not sure. Being, I'm not the proper Starfleet. And then the Klingon here. She's like, T-Rex. He goes, "Oh, sorry, testy. You're testy, wee lass." And then T-Rex, like, her eyes widen at the wee lass, and then she kind of looks at you and goes, "Did he just insult me?" Unsure.
Not intentionally, I think.
She turns back to him and goes, "Nonetheless, my name is T-Rex." He goes, "Arr, I be calling you the T-Rex from now on. I promise you that, lass. What you be drinking?" And then he's just trying to strike up a conversation with you guys.
Realizing I didn't actually pay attention to what you ordered me. It's green.
He goes, "Arr, green. I do fancy some brightly colored drinks. Let us get some more." And then he orders. He goes, "I'll have whatever ye be having." And they bring him a drink. At this point, in walks a very large. Actually, give me a roll.
Ooh.
Yeah, we haven't done one of those today. It's been all role play.
What?
Give me a security insight check. Yes, you can use your thing.
Excellent.
Wait, his phaser? Man, he always gets to use a phaser. I mean, when you're talking about Enzo, his
doesn't hit with it
thing
very
obviously
often.
means his
He's hit with it like twice out of like 6 times. He shot one of his own men. Did we forget about that?
That's because I'm excellent. Even when I miss, I don't miss. That's my new tag.
Yes. That's the definition for Enzoing.
First time, every time.
All right. What is the difficulty here?
Difficulty is 1 success. It's very clear what's about to happen.
Okay. Well, it's reduced to 0 successes. So let's see. Do I fail it?
Well, collect some momentum then.
Yep. 2 successes.
Yeah. Yay! Huzzah!
Cool. So yeah, I very clearly see whatever is about to happen.
Okay. Basically, a Klingon officer walks in with 2 other Klingon officers. Low ranking. You scored good, so you can kind of tell it's lower ranking officer, larger gentleman. He is looking for someone. He eyes T-Rex and starts to head over at an aggressive pace.
I nudge T-Rex and I gesture over there and I say, "Do we need to leave?"
She turns and her eyes go wide and she goes, "No, not today." And then you hear the Klingon from across the room. He goes, "T-Rex! T-Rex!" And then he's just marching towards her.
What's her? I look at him. I look at her. What's his name?
She goes, "Kulge." As she says "Kulge," I want you to give me one other roll. This one is going to be 2 success. Actually, yeah, 2 successes. You can still use your power. Security insight.
Ooh, that was close. All right. 2 successes.
All right. You immediately notice that Eddie just hauls off to deck him.
I
like perceived threat, and he's just like, "Ha ha!" and just goes to punch him.
Is there any way that I can reach him?
You can attempt to catch him, but T-Rex is in between you and him, so it'll take you a little check.
I bark. I'm gonna yell, "Teach, sit."
All right, give me control and command.
Yeah, those are my 2 best ones. Control and command. How many successes? 2, like usual.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna spend a momentum.
He's a pirate who's drinking, so 2. Yeah. I give you 1 if it was a normal. If it was Kyle, he'd be like, "Yep." But it's an ex-felon pirate.
Yep. All right, we'll see how this works. Answer is Hey, 2 successes.
All right. He's about to go, and then he stops.
An ex-felon so much as like an off-duty felon?
I was gonna say.
he stops and he goes, "Yar! Oh, it was just about to feel like home." But he kind of stays his hand, still looking ready. Rex stands up and kind of circles away from the bar slightly, taking a aggressive defensive posture, kind of like ready to attack, but also ready to defend.
I stand up, and I don't stand in front of her because that would be a poor choice. But I will stand next to her.
One thing that is very surprising, her hand starts to go to her dick tag, but she doesn't actually grab it.
Okay.
And then Kulge like stops like 2 feet from her. Like they are like face to face, like UFC promo picture close.
Right.
And he's just looking down. He's like, I have waited years for this. She goes, don't do this. This is not. He's like, silence.
Nook neck patak.
Tell me what you said, because I don't speak.
Wait. There's kids. Hold on. Wait, let me start waiting.
What? Okay, first of all, anybody out there who has their kids watching this at 10:42?
Well, it will be rebroadcast on your YouTube channel.
That's true.
And there's time zones. It's still prime time on the West Coast.
I did not use a very polite term for himself and asked him what he wanted.
I'm sorry, say that again. I was too busy laughing at the prime time. What'd you say?
So, I asked him what he wanted in a not particularly polite manner.
A very explicitly not polite manner. Like maybe it would be in a Klingon rap song or something.
Maybe, yeah.
What the fuck you want? Okay.
Strangely enough, the phrase "that's our word" somehow comes to mind.
No, it's definitely an insulting sort of word,
though. One of the Klingons, he ignores you. His focus is like blinders. There's something between him and T-Rex ain't right in the state of Denmark, but his like one of his seconds like turns to you and goes, "You'll keep your damn you'll keep your damn mouth shut if you know what's good for you." Whatever damn would be in Klingon.
You must be new here. You have 5 Terran seconds to take 2 steps back before security comes down and eliminates you. 5.
Teach actually steps up slightly next to you and goes, "Yar, matey, please wait out the countdown." He's not backing off on you, whereas the third guy, the other guy, grabs that guy's shoulder and grabs Kulge's shoulder. Kulge rolls his guy's arm off. However, the guy who was stepping to you steps off slightly.
3.
Kulge ignores you. He just looks at T-Rex and goes, "Blood challenge. I want to finish this with you once and for all.
2.
I will get you for the honor of my kin."
1.
At that point, the guy who the Klingon who kind of has the good sense to not start a giant bar fight after you guys just made a peace treaty keeps pulls again harder on Kulge. Kulge turns to almost hit him, but like holds himself just slightly, then looks at you and goes, "I have no quarrel with you. We will leave." And he turns to T-Rex and goes, "You know where to find me, and you better find me now."
If you assault an officer under my command again, I promise you, your days on the station will be over.
He turns to you and goes, "This is Klingon business.
This is Federation business when you make it part of my squad."
T-Rex steps in and goes, she goes, "I will find you." And then he stops, he looks at T-Rex, and he looks at you. He goes, "See that you do." And then he turns and he storms out with his men. And then T-Rex just looks like, she turns to you and goes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step in. Just, it was good worse. And I didn't want it to get worse.
I'm glad.
Eddie goes, Yar, I wanted it to get worse. It would have been right fun. I've never gotten to punch a Klingon in those little bridgy things that come out of their face.
Not actually recommended, I'll say that much.
Bucket list. At that point, T-Rex ignores him and then just turns and she just walks out. She doesn't even say bye or anything. She just walks out, like stressed.
Here, Eddie, I'm not going to finish this. Take this for me. And I go follow T-Rex.
Yep, he goes. Eddie takes it. He has it. He takes yours and goes, Yar! He chugs it, chugs yours, then stumbles after the two of you. Like he's part of it now. He's part of the game. He doesn't want to get left behind.
Oh boy.
So okay, you start to catch up to T-Rex. She's just kind of marching. She's marching back towards her quarters right now. Distressed.
T-Rex.
She doesn't answer you at first.
Is she an ensign or is she a?
She's enlisted. I have her rank. You got to just let me look at it real quick. I don't know if it's in the actual thing, but I actually made sure to give them all ranks. I just don't remember if I see that says lieutenant. That's not right. I think she's like a petty officer, like a chief petty officer or something like that. Let me just check real quick. Nope, that's the wrong. Star Trek Axiom. T-Rex. Oh. Nope. There we go. She is a chief petty officer.
Oh.
Chief Petty Officer T-Rex.
She like you could tell like she wants to keep moving, but almost like duty has arms and is standing behind her and holds her in place. She kind of like stops. And there's like a flex to her shoulders that you can clearly see through her uniform. She turns. Yes, Lieutenant. Lieutenant. Yes, Lieutenant.
Thank you. Listen, I do not want to pry into your personal life. If you have things you don't want to talk about, I'm not going to make you talk about it. If it is compromising our position on this station,
I killed his father.
Good start. Shouldn't have stopped there, clearly.
Good talk. Good talk.
No, I shouldn't.
Listen.
It is why I am a chief petty officer in the Federation and not a commander on a ship in the Klingon Empire.
You are a chief petty officer on the Danielson because you show talent and promise and courage under fire.
Of course, I show those things. That's what would have made me a captain in the Klingon Empire. I am in the Federation because of what I did back home.
And that was
who I know.
And so here's where we have the problem. I do not want to tell you what to do in your free time. It is your time to relax and recuperate. It is not, however, time to get into blood duels. I need you alive and at your station when we ship out. Now, we have some options.
She kind of like looks to the right and she's like, this is not, if I ever have hope of going home again, I can't no-show this. Eddie's like, Yar, I could just slit his throat in the middle of the night and then it'd be done. You don't have to go to it. He'll show it. She like looks at him angrily, and he goes, "Ooh, did I say something wrong?" It's the green drink talking. Me apologies, man.
That is an option. True. Listen, I need you to not get killed. How can I help you not get killed?
Well, that's an open-ended question.
It sure is.
She stops and she's like, I look, Kulge will not kill me, but I am at a conflict here. I do not believe he has the skills to kill me. But I do not believe that killing him is the right thing to do. And I do not believe that not going is the right thing to do. And I do not know how to approach this situation currently. I have been challenged. And if I ever want a hope of ever returning to the Klingon Empire, I don't know that I can walk away from this.
Refresh me on the fine points of how a blood duel is resolved. Is it spilled blood or is it all the blood?
Depends.
Okay.
Can be spilled blood, but he will not be going to just spill my blood.
Sure.
I do not think I can take the fight as just trying to spill his. If he is trying to kill me, I must try to kill him.
Absolutely.
Eddie teaches like, Yar, I'm failing to see the problem here.
Well, that's kind of a tough one, because you're putting the whole station kind of in an awkward position now.
I know. It was not my intention to be assigned to this prestigious ship or this prestigious duty. As you recall, we all fell into this role. I certainly didn't expect him to walk onto this station. I have to think about this. May I be dismissed?
You may be dismissed to your quarters on the Danielson. Please inform me before you leave.
I will inform you of my intentions when I know what they are. And then she growls that, like 100% growls that. Like you feel a tingle.
Yeah.
Like of fear when she growls it, and then she just turns and kind of storms off.
I sort of nod. I'll take that.
The pirate just he's kind of scratching his head, and he goes, "Yar, Klingons be way more complicated than they advertise."
You have no idea, buddy.
All right. Lenra, you doing anything other than sitting in your room?
Nah, pretty much just relaxing.
Cool.
It's
all right. Moving on.
Not getting into fights. Blood duels.
Not causing trouble. Not trying to bring down the Accords with my actions.
Not taking PEDs with the captain in the holodeck under medical supervision in the holodeck.
Yeah, exactly.
All righty. So Tobin, Narc, where are you going?
We were gonna do well.
Oh, you were still in the holodeck.
We ended the holodeck.
You passed out. Did Narc just leave you there?
Well, that's a little bit longer than that. At least get back to his room. Oh, we need to get
All right, so you're back in your room, Narc. What are you doing then while he's unconscious?
I am programming stuff. Okay. I can get into specifics if you want, but he's doing Narc stuff, programming. Okay. And he's got the the simulated yeoman. Well, I guess that's just one quick question. No, I'm out of the holodeck. Yeah, that's fine. That's done.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just gonna go back to just like doing programming stuff. And oh no, since the captain didn't actually say whether or not I was supposed to continue with my plan, I'm gonna just move on to phase 2.
Okay. And what is phase 2?
Going through the Danielson's records to get all the biological data that we have on Tinkers um, before he left, the transporter logs, and then all the way up through when we just disembarked from the Danielson.
Okay.
So I'm starting there, compiling that stuff, and also just in all the documentation that we have, just having the computer start making just a general pattern map of sightings and incident reports from the what are they called? The birds, the free birds.
Free birds. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So just compiling data together to use later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But
Science
you
stuff.
to help Tinkers. Oh no.
He is. He's helping Tinkers in his very own way. Look, you didn't need to dissect him.
It's only going to
Oh
be
wait,
out for
did you
like
actually
an
give
hour.
me? Did you give me a direct order to do that, or did you just say we need to do this thing and then?
I don't think anybody gave anybody direct orders in that. Like,
it's
you guys
definitely
talked
not
at each
something I'm
other.
supposed to give orders for.
But therein
Okay.
lies the problem.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing.
Tobin's only
I'm
going to
doing
be out
science.
for like a nap. He's
Okay.
only had coffee. It's not.
All right. So Tobin, you take a nice hour-long nap while he compiles data. You wake up. What do you do?
I'm gonna go check on Ark and see how the plan was going. And first, computer locate Lieutenant Tinkers.
Does it's in a room on the station.
Right.
Hasn't been shipped off in the station.
No.
He's still
And
wherever.
confirm
he
life
wants to.
signs.
He's alive.
Okay.
He's alive. Wouldn't that be the worst death ever, man? The chat would hate me if it was just like, oh, he's dead.
Oh yeah.
Lieutenant
He's dead.
Tinkers is in room 400.
The character you guys love, he's just fucking dead.
419 and 420.
Yeah, he's alive.
All right.
And healthy.
I'm going to go check on with Dark and how the plan is going.
Okay. He goes to find you, Narc. Working on your compiling.
Okay.
Where are you working on it? Just in the Danielson or just in your quarters?
I mean, he generally does everything on the holodeck. I'm just not sure. That's just like, I mean, if he's not in his quarters, then pretty much on the holodeck.
He's in the holodeck, dare I say.
Yeah, so it's basically the same scenario as before, but where I'm not in my therapy session, so it's just like at my duty station on the bridge.
Yeah, Tobin is not currently vibrating into another phase, so this is very awkward. But he's going to try to find Narc in here.
Okay. I mean, at worst, it's like a video game with really bad frame rate. You know what I mean? You can do it, but it's very annoying and kind of disorienting, but it's not like impossible.
Okay.
8-bit holodeck. Oh.
Yeah, right. Or it's more like the holodeck is using 2 holodecks to run stuff, and so there's like bandwidth and buffering issues. But whatever. So, yeah, so at this point, he's basically gathering the information, and it seems a little bit more like a legal case than an actual plan, because the computer is basically just putting together like there's this provision because of this thing that was signed in X year that states blah 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 about cooperation between Federation allies. There's this Rihansu proclamation about technology standards in the Beta Quadrant and what you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. There's this proclamation from the Rihansu about how they deal with piracy. things about the cross-referencing that stuff with like how the Federation has specific policing or deputizing sort of conditions that they impart onto Starfleet for Orion pirates, Tholian bandits, and things like that, where they are, attacking Federation supply lines or Starfleet freighters, and they have to take like actual non-military, more like international water type operations and stuff. And then again, taking all of that information and just scouring through the databases that we're allowed to get access to now about the locations of the Freebirds. So, and just in explaining to you that basically I'm trying to track down a maybe less than maybe a cloaking device effectively that might not really be on the radar of the Romulans at this point, and to make use of it in a way that doesn't violate any actual laws.
Okay, carry on. Tobin's gonna go find Lenra. All right, let's try to do this by the book.
Good.
Well, this is going off the rails. Where's the protocol queen?
Help. All right. Bzz.
Yeah, she's in his quarters. She's in her quarters.
Commander, do you have a minute?
Enter.
Well, at least someone is taking the idea of time off seriously.
Do you have two spies trying to use you to play off of each other?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I kind of told the one that was waiting for me at the front door to go fuck off, so.
Well, they weren't there when I got here, so they took that. They apparently took that to the letter.
Yeah, good.
Speaking of,
what's
I
Narc
could
doing
use your
now?
assistance.
Who said it was Narn?
We have a problem with Section 31 and Lieutenant Tinkers. I do not trust them to... Well, I trust them to completely do the opposite of what they say to us.
Yeah.
Which will probably mean unfortunate things to our lieutenant, which we really can't spare anyone, especially not anyone like Tinkers. I don't think there's any way to get him out of there cleanly through other channels, let's say. Is there anything we can do to protect them, to protect him without burning the whole station down and the rest of us?
To be honest, probably not. It's Section 31. They've probably already got half their tracks already covered. But the big question is, we don't know why they want Tinkers.
I have an idea why.
Let me hear it.
So you know the report with the Doug about his ability to communicate with them almost supernaturally.
Yeah, that was...
Well, it's confirmed that something in the transport affected him. And while that was not specified, they have their ways of... I suspect they're... if they don't already know from ship's information, they would have already looked into it. I have a
feeling they probably picked it up from ship's information. I'm getting the feeling that no matter what we put in the logs of the Danielson, it's getting to someone somewhere. No matter what. Great. Genetically modified, probably 1-7. Well, there's two ways this can go. One, they're dissecting them into petri dishes, or they're going to take a more passive route.
Well, at least as far as the computer's concerned, it claims that he has not yet been dissected, so we were at least that far.
I have a feeling they're going to take a more passive route. S31s probably want to learn more about these Shint, and I have a feeling this Fae is somehow involved.
Well, that's at least fortunate for us. Hopefully, if we can,
because the nature of the two seems a little too on the nose.
It is weirdly convenient, like everything else.
Well, a lot of genetic manipulation where there isn't one. Because remember, the Shint kept coming up as human, according to our scans, so...
That's not true.
Right. Yeah, it was. When we tried to beam it out, you kept saying there were 5 humans.
It was at least hiding itself as a human life
hiding
sign.
Itself.
Yeah, it's hiding itself.
But at least knows about human
life
signs already.
Right. But the point is either A, it's tricking the genetics or altering it enough so that it's self enough in order to... Because given how it disintegrated too, I think that thing was more of a construct than a...
Well, if there's any way
we can... That's a theory.
Get rid of our mutual spy-related hangers-on, then...
airlocks would be useful, but...
I feel like that would just be insufficient at this point.
Well, yeah. I'm also dealing with the Tal Shiar, so...
At least the Klingons, as far as I know, don't have a spy agency.
Meanwhile... yeah, hopefully. But right now, there's a lot of movements right now that are happening. The Freebirds, which the Tal Shiar are convinced Section 31's feeding them information in order to wreak havoc with the Accords. I've got Tinker's issue with Section 31. Everything links back to Section 31 right now.
That definitely tracks with every rumor I've heard about them.
Yeah, well...
Which is everything, literally.
Rumors are rumors until proven, so...
Alright, well, I guess at this stage we just have to trust that...
We're probably going to have to hurry and wait, because there's nothing in protocol I can do to pull anything that would override Section 31.
Nope.
And the genetic manipulation, I'm surprised Starfleet Medical isn't trying to purge him out of it. But that's also maybe why Section 31 is. They're probably trying to just get the information, the genetics for themselves. Yeah, it's a hurry up and wait scenario. That's all we can do. I mean, unless we want to start causing hell on the station, and then that could cause more problems than it's worth.
You know, that reminds me. Let me go check on that.
Oh no. What have you guys got going on today? Look, actually, I don't want to know in case of the court martial.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go find. We've got this. I'm gonna go find Enzo.
Okay. All right.
Because as far as I know, I've checked in with everybody else and have accounted for all of the other problems going on.
Enzo, what are you doing after she walks off? After the pirate makes his quippy comment.
I'm genuinely just gonna sort of stand still for a minute and try and figure out how to keep my best security officer from getting killed in a blood duel. And I'm not coming up with much.
All right, so you're standing there in absolute silence.
Yeah.
And the pirate just kind of like, yar. permission to say something inappropriate.
I don't see why you need my permission, but go for it.
Oh, the Federation types always be asking for permission for things. I thought that's just what you did.
Go for it, Eddie. What you got?
She's real pretty when she's angry. I'm not gonna lie. I may be in love.
I'll tell you what. The next time you've both had 4 drinks, you should tell her that.
Arr.
The 4
Sounds
drinks
good.
is the important part, though.
What are we gonna do about this whole blood duel murder situation?
Step 1 is try and make sure she doesn't sneak off to try and deal with it by herself, because that's a good way to get her killed. Step 2, I don't really know yet. This is going to be a sort of an international incident pretty quick.
Just making sure. I wasn't sure from the conversation, but it's definitely a no-no to murder him in his sleep, right? Against Federation protocol?
Definitely against Federation protocol. Probably would upset T-Rex too.
Just a hypothetical.
Yeah, I'm not saying
definitely not something the old Eddie Teach would do.
Oh, of course not. And I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad idea. Just there's some.
You're sending me mixed signals now, Lieutenant. If I might say so.
Okay. Do not murder anyone in their sleep over this.
No, I never was gonna. Never even thought about it.
I'm sure you didn't.
At this point, while you guys are doing your Abbott and Costello impersonation,
third base.
Tobin starts walking towards you guys.
Oh, Captain!
He's just got beads of sweat running down his forehead. That's how stressed you can tell Tobin is how many beads of sweat you can count on his forehead.
There's always at least 7.
There are many, all the time.
7 to 2,000. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Captain.
Lieutenant. I'm not interrupting something, am I?
Oh no, we're just discussing some finer points of Federation law, actually.
Yeah, that hasn't gone. That has not terribly gone well for me so far today.
I think we're probably done, right? Right, Eddie?
Oh, yar. Definitely done. And then he winks at you, which makes you very scared that you're not done. We're done.
Like he puts an eye patch on to lift it up to wink with that eye.
Yeah, pretty much.
But he doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't take the hint at all.
No.
He just stands there.
All right.
So what are we doing now, gentlemen?
Hello, Captain. What's on your mind?
Just checking in, see how everyone's doing. You're enjoying the shore leave, I hope.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely had me a green drink. Just mighty fine.
Why don't you go have another one of those, Eddie?
Oh!
I'll take you.
You'll both be trying to get rid of me. I see.
The bar is literally right there.
He can take
not
it.
He takes the hint. Not a very big station.
He can take a hint. He'll just go over here, drink some alcohol, buy his sad lonesome. Part of the crew, but just ostracized over by the bar, drinking by himself. Just his tears raining down into his green drink. But that's fine. Have no friends in the Federation, but that's okay. You're definitely going to get into adventures without me, but I'll be over here just by myself, polishing up the old tranquilizer. All right. What was that? Oh, no, you didn't say anything? Okay, all right. I guess I will be going then. If you're sure. All right. All right, I'll be over here. Might need a pirate, though. Okay, all right, Eddie teach out. All right. And then he finally walks away.
The bar is like we're like literally next to the bar.
Yeah.
By Walkley, he turns
he
slightly
walks
to
away
his
to
left.
the bar. He walks away to the bar, gets a drink, and just looks at you both the whole time, sipping it.
It's like instead of awkwardly close, he's awkwardly just one seat away. At like the 5-seat bar.
Definitely by myself.
There you go. Captain. So far, we have not entered into any blood duels. So, look it up.
It's
Weird
very
that
specific.
You mention that.
Yeah. Very specific.
Hopefully unrelated. I think we need to improve the security on at least the sensors on the Danielson, because we seem to have a lot of spies walking around, and it's very inconvenient.
Interesting. Like now, or just sort of in general?
Gestures generally.
All right.
That's the thing with spies. Once you see one, there's several.
You guys just look over, and in two rhododendrons, one of them is the one of them's the Talshiar, and the other one's like, we're totally not here.
There's like 3 Talshiar, one hanging from the rafters with the boom mic.
We're all on the same side now. This is okay.
3 Section 31, dude, painted like the walls. One random.
There's one bar that's just like
there.
3.
He's just a simple tailor.
Talshiar just being chairs. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting, sir. I mean, we don't have any real ingress-egress restrictions right now because we're docked at the station. I could fix that, but it's not going to be a. Everybody's going to get annoyed real fast. Let me put it that way.
I'll let you think about a less annoying solution for that.
I'm always thinking about it.
Yes, you are.
The question is, do you want me to put one in place now, or let them walk around for a while first and then come up with a slightly less aggravating version?
Can you at least keep track of them slightly?
Well, I'll have to work with probably Narc, but tracking the 25 of us who are actually supposed to be here is not all that hard. And tracking anybody who's not in that crew complement is, again, fairly straightforward. We only have one primary docking ingress. Nobody's beaming on and off the ship because it's just a hallway.
Probably.
Well, but detecting unauthorized transports, again, is not challenging, right?
Probably.
Something we don't usually do because it's annoying to check in with the computer all the time.
Yes.
I'll do it, though.
I know you will.
I'm excited for this, sir.
Slightly less than that, preferably. And if we could, keep an eye out for any of our crew who are perhaps frequently predisposed outside of the vessel, that would be great.
Aren't that many of us, sir?
I know.
All right.
If there were more, it would be so much more difficult.
Yeah. In some ways, yes. Some ways, yes. All right. Well, then what I'm probably going to ask is that we have a sort of an all-hands meeting tomorrow morning where we talk about the fact that due to the possibility of misunderstandings, We're going to simply be increasing the standard security level of the ship to make sure that we have an eye on all of our personnel at all times, and we know who is on and off the ship. I don't want to say like it's because of Teach, because it's not necessarily because of Teach.
I will take.
But there's a lot of.
You have my permission for that. And if you run into anyone else who becomes involved in some sort of conspiracy I shouldn't know about, please take care of that.
The minute you say that, we're gonna end for the night. But the minute you say that, you look over. The minute you say the word conspiracy, you see Chelsea Green from. You all remember, correct? Chelsea Green, or should have a refresher? You see her. She actually has like kind of these like kind of braces down either side of her leg as she walks, and you see her kind of walk in, and you definitely make out a new captain's badge on her lapel, coming in from the newest ship that just arrived at the Frontier One. So
I'm gonna go get one of those Earth fizzy drinks with Teach.
Arr! Want to take a selfie? Got to prove I have friends. All right. So that's it. That's it for tonight. We'll come back. Hopefully wrap up some of these threads next week. Thank you, Sean. Can I, would you permit me do one plug this time?
Sure, plug away.
On August 6th, myself and Mark's first tabletop role-playing game comes out. The Upper Hand, a wrestling role-playing game. Please, it's relatively cheap. You can find it on Drive-Thru Games. If you join me, I will be on a live stream from noon to 5 p.m. on Saturday of its release, August the 6th. I will have a link tree in the description where you can click on it, go right to the page and purchase it if you would like it. If it's not something you're into, don't get it, but it is a card-based wrestling game that will cost you less than $20 should you decide to purchase it. But please, it is our first foray into the game, so whether or not you buy it, come join me for that stream. I'm going to be watching episodes of UHW. I'm going to hopefully do a live demo. I'm going to possibly interview some of the creators. So yeah, just wanted to promote it since this will be the last Star Trek Axiom before that release date.
You have a link to put in the chat?
Yes, yeah, we have Linktree. We do have Linktree. I can't get to the chat right now. Hold on.
Can you send it to me and then I'll put it in the chat?
I can send it to you in 2 shakes, my friend. 2 shakes.
All right, I have 3 shakes, so make it 2.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad that we didn't define what a shake is, because I'm having a harder time finding.
I didn't know you could negotiate shakes.
Right?
What, you've been just doing them at face value this whole time?
Copy. And then I'm going to give it to you in the Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a totally unbiased opinion, it plays fast. It's really, really fun. No, it's a good time.
It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it a lot. We're doing a live play game we've been doing on that channel and Old Man Gaming for a couple of weeks now. And Mark and I put a lot of work into it, and we're planning on making more games in the future, but this is our first foyer. So, and like I said, even if you don't want to buy it, just come to the stream, say hi, tell your friends about it if they're into it. And thank you so much, Aether Dios, for giving me the time to plug this. I appreciate it.
Thank you for giving the time to run the game. All right. Does anybody else have any other conspiracies they want to make me have to deal with before the end of before I finish this drink? The pug. The vicious pug have come to invade.
Conspiracy of the pug. Look at those eyes.
Oh.
So sad. Oh. I'm so sad, guys. So much stuff is happening.
They're eating snacks, and I'm not getting any of them.
It's terrible.
Want some of that green drink?
Oh God.
We're gonna go work on some form of green drink. Yeah, all I have that's green is probably way too strong for the time of night.
Straight middery. Let's go to town on it, man.
Oh, I have an absinthe, man.
See, that's actually like worth drinking though. So.
I don't have any kind of situation. I drink as a kid. I drink seltzer water. I'm gonna drink a seltzer water and pass out like a 97-year-old man.
Have a seltzer water with Tobin. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll drink a Tobin. That'd be a good drinking buddy.
Just seltzer water. Very spicy.
I'll smoke my pipe.
Gin and tonic without the gin.
Yep. All right. Good night, everybody. I'll switch over and call us out. All right. Hey, everybody. Let's see. Audio still working. Let me get a little bit of background music. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's been a lovely evening, a fun game. I might stream tomorrow. I have to put a couch together. Might go crazy. I was gonna... Hey, if anyone's interested in other sorts of games, Level Up Total Eclipse came out this past week. Star Citizen new patch drops tomorrow afternoon. 100 player caps, all good news. I will probably just go back to playing the games I still haven't finished yet because backlogs are eternal. Anyway, it's been great. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and I will wish you all a lovely Wednesday evening and a good week. Good night, everybody.